Yet Another Geek Show is brought to you by Audible.com, where you can get a free 30-day trial with a free Audible audiobook and 2 Audible originals at audibletrial.com/YAGS for Yet Another Geek Show. Boy, don't that sound like a great deal. Hello, welcome to Yet Another Geek Show, the show where you gotta go fast. I'm your host, Dalton Munnell.
I'm your host, Alex Ecker.
And I'm your host, Josh Keir.
Guys, it's been like 3 months since we last did a Sonic episode. What has happened to this show?
Well, it just took us all that long to actually play Sonic 3.
Yeah.
That long to beat it, you mean? It just took us both. It took us all like 100 hours each to get through this game is all.
Clearly. Yeah, it's crazy. They turned this one into a full-fledged JRPG, and I can't even continue on with this bit because that actually fucking happened later on, but it was just for the Nintendo DS.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a bit.
BioWare made
it. Wasn't a bit, I should say. Is this still a bit? Is this a bit again?
No.
What is happening?
No, I'm not kidding. It's called Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. I swear I did not pull that off of DeviantArt. BioWare made it. This is a real game. It's also like the worst game I've ever played in my life.
Thankfully, we're not here to talk about that game.
We should totally spotlight it.
One day. But for now, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, which I do consider to be officially one game. It was intended to be that way. It just, I don't know if it was, if one of you know, did it just not get finished in time, or was it like too much data for one cartridge?
I remember,
the former.
Yeah, I remember kind of reading into this when I was getting ready to play this game finally, and I thought I remembered reading that it was just that the original scope for the game was a little bit too grand and they couldn't finish it in time, so they released Sonic 3 first so they'd have something to release during the holiday window of that particular year, and then just pushed out and Knuckles later.
Yeah, and for that we got the world's first DLC. Oh damn, it's not downloadable at all. Expansion pack? No, those were a thing at this point.
Yep.
Whatever, it was cool.
It sure was the world's first something.
It was the world's first something.
Yeah.
It was fun to make a stack of like Game Genie, Sonic and Knuckles, another copy of Sonic and Knuckles because you have one, and then Vector Man.
Vector Man. Goodness.
Actually, you know what? If you put games in there that weren't Sonic 3 or 2, you did get randomly generated Get Blue Spheres levels.
Really?
Yeah. So those were good times.
Oh boy, my least favorite thing about classic Sonic games, but an endless amount of them.
But let's talk about how cool it is before we get actually deep into the game that this actually created content for Sonic 2.
Yeah, that is really cool, and I actually didn't even know that was true until we started this series and got to Sonic 2, and I think it was you, Dalton, that mentioned, like, hey, you guys gonna play and Knuckles? I didn't even know that you could.
Oh yeah, that's right, we did already dwell on this. Well, let's keep repeating ourselves. No.
The start of this game, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, doesn't it start off right after Sonic 2 ended?
You were paying attention to a plot because I wasn't.
Well, doesn't it like with Sonic and Tails, they fly off in the tornado?
Mm-hmm.
The airplane, not the weather event.
Yes.
Yep.
And doesn't the game start right off with them flying again?
Yeah, there you go. There's some continuity.
Yeah,
that's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Because what was it? The first one's Angel Island, right? And they run into Knuckles there, and that's the first time you're introduced to the character.
Yeah, and it's actually it was really cool to me, as much as I just joked that it's Sonic and a story doesn't really matter, which is universally true through all of Sonic, but it is still really cool to me the way that they animated these character actions, like on the stages, just these little scripted moments. It's kind of a relic of, you know, video games learning to tell stories at the time.
I did like that, you know, the little bit of bare bones story there is. I mean, I guess in all of these original Genesis Sonic games, it's all told with no dialogue. You know,
Right.
they know that this is more or less just a thinly veiled reason to push you along into a bunch of platforming levels. So they don't devote any more time to the plot than there needs to be to give you an excuse to do fun things. And, you know, further games in the series I wish could go back in time and learn that lesson again. But that's neither here nor there right now.
Yeah, it's just a nice appreciated touch of detail and effort and polish, and also those seamless transitions between levels.
Yeah,
Like-
that was a new thing with this game, right?
Yeah, I think this is
actually was.
Sonic 1 and 2 didn't do that. So, yeah, it's a cool little innovation. The fact that, man, just having another character to play through it as that was as cool as Sonic. I mean, you
Yeah.
could play as Tails, but why?
Well,
Tails
thanks,
is-
because I
Tails
play
is-
through it as Tails.
I was going to say Tails is the little brother character. Are you a little brother?
Yes, I am, actually.
That's why you played Tails, bro. I hate to break it to you.
Just great nostalgia for playing as Tails, huh?
No, I have, honestly, the least amount of nostalgia for this game.
Didn't you say previously that you might not have actually played these games? Or maybe you didn't until much later in life?
I remember just playing Sonic 2 the most as a kid. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until, because like I was like 4 or 5, and like I didn't get introduced to the third game until I was like between the ages of 8 and 10. Mm-hmm. Whoop, something fell. Sorry about that.
Whoop.
But yeah, I
You
don't
went
know.
too fast.
I went too fast and something fell. I don't know. It just, this game does it for me. Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It feels home, but it feels alien.
Sure.
I don't know. There's just something about it that I just can't quite get it to fit in the right spot in the jigsaw puzzle. You know.
I get that because so for the record, I did have this game around the time it was new and have it throughout my life, but played it much less than I played Sonic 2, apparently, because while I still experienced plenty of nostalgia and remembered being in most of these levels and remembered the songs, I didn't feel like I knew the levels as well, and frankly didn't enjoy being there as much.
Yeah.
I was interested to hear where people would land on this game because I had thought, at least just from, you know, reading general opinions online, that this game is fairly well liked as far as I'm aware, and a lot of people consider it maybe the best of the Genesis Sonics. I do not.
Okay.
I do not, and I was wondering how both of you felt about it.
Yeah.
So I still really liked it, and this will not be the last time I play through this.
Yeah.
But I don't think I had ever played 2 and 3 like directly back to back like I did here.
I never have either. I mean, I guess I still took 2 months off in between, but even so.
Yeah, so it just really highlighted the flaws to me, which are ultimately level design. I just didn't have as much fun exploring these levels.
Yeah, because they started with the alternative pathways in this game.
No, that's always been a trope.
Nah, Sonic 2 had that.
Yeah, but it wasn't as in your face.
The levels got bigger and harder to explore here.
Yeah.
To the extent of, for me, just not being as fun.
Yeah, there's an element of keeping things simple. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this game was trying to be more just because it could be.
I completely agree.
Oh, I'm glad you do, because man, I don't know what it is about this game, but I like it. I just don't know how to handle it in my brain. You know what I mean? Like even the music from 1 and 2, it feels pretty alien to me.
The contradiction in my head is that on an artistic level, like all my nostalgia came from the visual design of the levels and from the music, which is still great, but not on Sonic 2's level.
Yeah.
But as I was playing Sonic 1 and 2 and preparing for our episodes, I was making mental note of, oh, I really enjoyed this level and then this level, but this one was really grating and I got stuck in it. And there was a point playing this game where I realized, oh, I didn't actually like 2/3 of these levels.
Yeah.
There was a point where I'd played 4 levels in a row where I'm like, I don't think I had fun on any of these.
Yeah,
No, I gotta agree with you.
like artistically, this game really jumped like from 1 and 2. There's a lot more detail, like in the first level when everything just catches on fire, even you, but you're fine and everything around you isn't. That heat wave effect is really cool.
Oh, it's gorgeously
Oh yeah,
done.
absolutely.
Like they did this game looks like it could have been made in the mid to late 2000s.
Sure,
as far
it's
as, like,
really advanced.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was at the end of the Sega's life, wasn't it? Like when all the hardware was like, all right, now we really know what we can handle, right?
It's probably pretty close to it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can really tell when like games were towards the end of like a game console's like lifespan. And I feel like this is one of those examples.
Yeah, so I don't know if you I know it's been quite a while since I actually played this in preparation, so maybe you guys have enough of a memory still ingrained to kind of quickly go level by level, not in as much detail as we used to because there's more levels. Angel Island is a highlight of the series, from that opening animation to
the second
rest
act.
of that the rest of that
everything.
zone actually being fun.
Yeah, that was about it. Like
I completely agree.
honestly, that feels like it's the most memorable level of the whole game.
So
Yeah.
that was my main gripe about especially the Sonic 3 half of the game, is that
It starts out strong.
all of the zones felt very paint by numbers in terms of like they had nothing to offer that we didn't see in Sonic 1 or 2. And because Sonic 3 doesn't do that much to differentiate itself mechanically from Sonic 2, like Sonic 2 in itself was a big step up mechanically from Sonic 1 because you had the charge up spin dash, you had a couple other things you could do that made it feel different to play, and I don't feel like Sonic 3 made the same innovations in gameplay that Sonic 2 did upon the original. And I also feel that like, so Angel Island's a great zone, but then you get to Hydro City and it's literally just a worse chemical plant zone from Sonic Adventure 2. And then you get to the Marble Garden zone, and it's a worse version of the same kind of lava ruins zone from Sonic 1.
All right, let's rush a little less.
Okay.
Let's rush a little less because I actually really like what I'm going to choose to pronounce as Hydrocity.
Yeah.
I was 50-50 on that.
I'm actually still down for this level. I don't know that I get the chemical plant comparison besides being in a liquid. And so I don't know. For me, Sonic has a really good streak of giving me underwater levels that I actually like. This is maybe the third water level in the franchise, and fourth that I can think of. And I can recall including this one that I hated, and 3 that I actually really liked. I liked the design of this. I don't get panicky because of the underwater. I think the underwater controls are done really well.
Yeah, the controls in this entire game are very on point.
The music theme is a highlight of the franchise for me.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hydro City does have good music, particularly the Act 2 version. And one thing that I don't think that we've pointed out yet is I think this game is the first one to have different variations on the level themes between Act 1 and Act 2, which actually might be my favorite thing about the game.
That is a really fun
It makes getting to Act
innovation.
2 feel a lot different. It's actually really nice because there aren't really scene transitions between the levels. You'll hit the end of Act 1 and you'll get your points tallying screen, and then you just immediately start running again and you're in Act 2. But the music's changed, so you still feels like a different level. I did really like the way that this game nailed those transitions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, then we get to the Marble Garden, and I hate this.
Yep. Like
I
said,
really hate this.
It's a worse version of Marble Zone from Sonic 1, which I also hated.
Which level was it in Sonic 2 where it was grassy fields and fire and lava? And it was like zip-liney.
I don't know the level, but I know the one you mean.
I know it's the fourth world. It's a hilltop zone.
Thank
There you go.
Yeah. This one aesthetically kind of reminds me of that zone in a way, as well as the second zone in Sonic 1.
Yeah, I get the Marble Zone comparison too, which I actually really like the Marble Zone in Sonic 1. At least I hope that was my opinion when we recorded it, because that's my memory.
I'm going to go back and listen to that now and then come in on the Discord and be like, Dalton's not consistent in his opinions.
That said, visually, I do really like this level. And I find it a really effective use of what the hardware can do. But level design, man, that spinning top is like the worst thing of the Genesis. Not Sonic, but of the Genesis. It's just the worst.
See, here's the thing. I will commend this game for trying to add new mechanics in a franchise that seemed very repetitive. I
guess that's fair. It is a new mechanic.
I will not forgive it for having too many mechanics trying to be played out in this game, or new animations for making him go faster.
Well, and then
it's different looking, but same result. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and then
I do love the ones where you're standing on a gear and a hand comes out and holds Sonic down while he's running in place, and it just lets him go, and you just kind of
he's like
down the level.
Hold me back, bro. Hold me back.
Oh man. And then the music on this level, while still like good, like this is all good video game music, it's going downward for Sonic, and it doesn't, like, the levels are longer here, and there's a lot more bad levels, and when you're stuck on a bad level, that music better be really good. And Chemical Plant, this is not.
You know,
so I find myself getting annoyed by music that I actually still like because I'm stuck in it for too long.
Sure.
Now, let me ask you something, Dalton, because we haven't brought this up yet either. Things like the lightning shield, did this help you out in that level? Because we didn't introduce the fact that there were different kinds of shields yet.
Yeah, because that's kind of the only real gameplay change. So I guess we were starting with level design. Since you already brought it up, I'll go ahead and switch gears for a minute. The shields are a really awesome innovation. I can't say they made the levels easier or harder, because the levels were designed around you having access to them.
Right.
So...
Gonna kind of break the fourth.
But they are a highlight of the game for me.
Yeah. The reason that I brought that up was because we all probably have a guide of the levels going in order, so that way we don't look like idiots while we're trying to name levels. But I just happened to see like a giant ring location sort of thing, and it said something about a lightning shield and a flame shield. And those actually count to help you find the giant rings in the game.
That doesn't sound right. I don't follow. Oh, to like access to them. Like you might not be able to get to their location. I gotcha.
Right. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Level design. Carnival Night Zone is just the worst.
Yes, it is.
On a level design level.
It feels like Casino Zone.
And yes, it's definitely trying to imitate that. But unlike Marble Garden, I think it's bad visual design too, and I think it's bad music.
Oh, the music is horrible. It's just so bad.
This is the only one that stands out to me as the music being actively bad, as opposed to the music's not good enough to help me through this level. And the color scheme is just garish and eye murdering. And there's that goddamn barrel that I know you both got stuck on, and you have every time you've played this.
Yeah. I hate shit like that.
No good words for Carnival Night.
It's all bad platforming in a speedy game.
Ice Cap Zone. Ice levels are super generic, and this didn't contribute anything worthwhile to it.
I don't remember anything about this level, and I played it very recently, so there you go.
Yeah, fair enough.
Wow, I remember that it was frustrating. Music's still decent, though.
Ice Cap Zone had some pretty good music.
Launch Base Zone. I dig the visuals here. Playing it is unbearable because of, as you mentioned earlier, Alex, just the multiple pathways. And this has a lot of, the paths, unlike most of what you've played from this era, aren't just from left to right. There's a whole lot more of going right to left. And it's really easy to lose track of which way you were actually supposed to be going. And just really easy to get lost. And Launch Base Zone is the last level of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, correct? Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So if you only have the Sonic 3 game, then it feels like we kind of got through it quickly if we're just basing it on Sonic 3.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I didn't even think about that till I just seen.
Well,
like,
there's fewer levels, but the levels are longer. So Sonic 3 on its own isn't really shorter than Sonic 2.
Yeah, maybe I'm just...
Sonic 3 and Knuckles collectively is a really long Genesis platformer.
Which, super thankful for that save feature.
Well, yeah, there's a gameplay innovation.
All right, that is something new.
It doesn't matter when you can play with save states today, but at the time, that's an awesome innovation.
Yeah, that really made a difference.
So here's something that I never really have tried or thought about. If you're just playing Sonic 3 standalone, how does the game end?
Ooh,
does anyone know? Because it just ends after launch base zone, but like what happens?
Right. I don't know.
I haven't actually seen that since I was a kid, and I don't really know.
That would have been a really good thing to think about in the like 3.5 months I've had to prepare for this episode.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Which, not to mention, 6 levels, right? Isn't there 7 Chaos Emeralds?
Yeah, but I had no problem getting them all.
I did.
Okay.
Because I hate the special stages.
Yeah, the special stages in these games, well, this game, if we're considering it Sonic 3 and K, they were fucking awful. Get blue balls.
Yeah, we'll jump back into that later.
Well, can I share my fun little fact here?
Go ahead.
The reason I said get blue balls is because that was the original message. Mm-hmm. And they had to change it to get blue spheres because a lot of the people on crew were like, hey, we shouldn't put blue balls in a game for kids.
They knew what they were doing. All right, Mushroom Hill Zone.
Go ahead.
This is another, to me, Sonic games. Granted, this is technically the middle of a game and not the first level of a game, but whatever.
This was the weirdest looking stage.
It is very unusual looking, but also very memorable to me.
Chaos memorable.
And I found this one fun and interesting and enjoyed the music. And
I love
these
this
games
level.
are always
this is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite levels in the game.
Oh wow! Okay.
I will say that the weird like football throwing enemy is just as random and weird as the random football player in Mario. But whatever.
I forgot about that guy in there.
But this one's classic good Sonic to me. Flying battery zone. I can hear the music instantly, and that's awesome. The level sucks.
Trying to remember this one.
I think I might have mentally checked out of this level. I think this one just pissed me off too much.
Josh, the page you're looking at, you'll get screenshots if you click on a level.
Yeah, I remember this one now.
I like the visual design. I love the music on this level. And I love just like, we talked about them trying to squeeze little things here and there, just little new things that aren't all that important, but are just a nice touch of polish. I love like the animation of Sonic running around like a full pipe that's rotating rather than just like the original loop-de-loops. That's a really cool thing to look at. Things like where you step behind like a walkway you might not know is there and then it cuts away the wall that was obscuring it. Just visually, this really works for me. Level design, I hate playing it. I hate. We've complained about moments in Sonic games where they're really slowing you down in a game where you really want to go fast. And I remember feeling like this really wanted me to go way too slow.
Yeah.
Especially for the music being really fast and exciting. Screw everything about Sandopolis. That's all I have to say about that. The boss is pretty cool.
This felt like Oil City, but not good.
You know what? You're right. It's definitely trying to put a spin on Oil Ocean and not being half as
Oil
good.
Ocean.
Man, it's really hard to make something unique when it's just, I don't know, sand.
Yeah.
Sand and vaguely Eastern music, you know?
With Oil Ocean, I feel like that soundtrack, like that song could have fit here better. Yeah,
but kudos to the rock golem thing, because having a boss fight here where like there was a clever way to end it and it wasn't just whittle down its invisible health bar. That was a really cool instance of doing something different. And I remember feeling like a damn genius when I figured it out as a kid.
Oh, man. Where does that leave us? We're at Lava Reef Zone, right?
Lava Reef. Yeah, I hate this too. And this is where
lava levels.
this is where I realized, man, I've played way too many levels that I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the screenshot and I don't really like this level on an aesthetic level either. And
This doesn't look like anything Sonic, but it's trying to be.
and I'll tell you, every other level that I've clicked on here to get a screenshot to remind me which one it is, I've immediately heard the music in my head on all of them and not on this one.
Really?
But maybe that's just because we're getting further in the game. And so growing up,
you're less familiar, right?
yeah. And so growing up playing this game without cheating, well, I guess we were able to save, but I'm sure, I'm sure the majority of the time I started this game and didn't finish it. And so, yeah, the further we get, the less times I've played the level. So maybe it's that, and not that the music sucks, but it's worth noting that music didn't come to me.
The rocky terrain doesn't feel right in a Sonic game.
I can't put my finger on it, but yeah, something feels off.
Yeah, definitely.
Because things feel like they're more designed to be a ramp, and when you look at the rocks trying to be a ramp, like in the screenshot that we're seeing, it doesn't feel right.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I get what you're saying there.
Yeah, something about the ground and terrain there was not right.
Hidden Palace is barely a level. It was a single really quick act. It was kind of just like, it was kind of a bit of a story element to get you from here to there.
Oh, really?
So,
I was gonna say, I barely remember this level.
Yeah, nothing strong to say there, really.
It's actually really interesting because Hidden Palace Zone, there was a cut Hidden Palace Zone from Sonic 2. And there was a whole bunch of like people that were like messing around with the debug mode to get into the unfinished zone, and there were tons of like rumors about this zone back in the day. So I don't know whether or not the Sonic 3 version was basically the zone that was cut from Sonic 2 that they tried to reuse in this game. But no matter what it was, knowing the kind of legend and buildup of this zone going into it, I expected more from it.
Well, Alex, you did play the Hidden Palace zone that was cut from Sonic 2. So did this ring a bell to you as resembling that level?
Only in the name, really. Like,
okay.
This level was very varying shades of like blue and green turquoisey. That level in Hidden Palace was more yellow pink in color, like, and the visuals were pretty damn different if I remember correctly. Because I think when you get into this point of this long of a game, not really that long, but it feels long when you're trying to play it, things start to blur together at that point. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
But yeah, the color schemes were significantly different there.
All right. So Sky Sanctuary. To me, this is classic good Sonic. I enjoyed this level.
Yeah, it felt very classic.
Visually lines up with what I expect from Sonic. Mecha Sonic's cool.
Yeah, with just like slight bits of nuanced art. Like that felt really good. It felt like the new game.
Yeah, some cool animation going on in the background and memorable music. And yeah, this is good stuff to me. Let's see. Death Egg. Oh, God. I didn't enjoy this, but I guess this is like the second to last level of the game. So I guess that's just the difficulty getting excruciating because it's supposed to be. I
was definitely feeling really fatigued at this point, and I just wanted to be done, which in hindsight doesn't say a whole lot good about my journey through the game, but I was ready to be done at this point.
Josh, did you do this all in one sitting like I did?
No, I did it over a few days of a weekend.
Oh, that's ooh. Okay, because I was fatigued at this point, but I did it in all in one setting.
I couldn't do that.
Ooh, that's not a good sign. You had a worse experience than I did, as much as I'm complaining here. But yeah, I enjoyed the music here, and I like the aesthetic as much as it is ripping off a particular Sonic 2 level that I can't remember the name of. Yeah, that's all there. And the final Doomsday Zone, which is really just the boss fight, I believe.
Wasn't it a bunch of boss fights?
Yeah, well, as they tend to be at the end of a Sonic game. To me, this kind of pushed a line into like an unfair amount of difficulty. And so like it's cool on like the aesthetic level and I don't know. I appreciate the effort going into like the animations and it is a cool boss fight. It's also stupidly difficult. You just not enough leeway with avoiding getting hit and with getting in good hits, which I guess that's just this era. I mean, the Sonic franchise as a whole is still a really easy franchise for this era, which is a lot of why it resonated with me because I was still able to do it and without cheating. So it is what it is. But I will say this frustrated the hell out of me now.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at the level design and I'm seeing playable characters like in the story mode. Is what it's saying is a playable character story mode thing, that there is Supersonic and Hypersonic, and Hypersonic is only available in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Was there a difference between Super and Hyper?
Hyper was like Super except more.
Yeah, like
it's basically Super Saiyan level 2.
Because there were even more Chaos Emeralds to get in Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, because they were like Super Emeralds or something?
Super Emeralds, yeah.
Yeah. Because then you could get like, what was it, Super Knuckles and Super Tails?
Well, so Knuckles had Super Knuckles and Hyper Knuckles. Tails, for some reason, if I recall correctly, because who plays as Tails, only gets a Hyper Tails. I don't think he gets a Super level. Maybe they thought that would violate the canon. Maybe they thought that would violate the canon of Sonic 2, where he didn't have a Super form.
Yeah, I think he only gets a Super Tails.
Interesting note, though, when he goes Hyper, he gets surrounded by little birds that are the bird from Flicky. I think those are the same birds that are always breaking out of Eggman's
like
robots
that you destroy.
Yeah.
But are either of you familiar with Flicky?
Not really.
Outside of it being a bird that pops out of robots I kill, not really.
Okay, it was a fun little Genesis game where you're a bird rescuing other birds from house cats. I could not possibly explain it in a way that sounds good, and I haven't revisited it since my childhood, but I loved it at the time, and it was really cool for me to notice that it was the same. I doubt Flicky's like a canon character, but the same like sprite design, I guess.
Speaking of sprite design, are you guys annoyed about Super Tails and Knuckles only like glowing white and like Sonic gets like yellow and like spikier?
They change more than his colors.
Yeah, like Supersonic or Hypersonic, whatever. Like there's more change in the actual sprite versus Tails and Knuckles. Like they just felt like kind of a cop out. Like, oh hey, they get cool stuff too.
I'm only seeing these images for the first time because I have never in any Sonic game ever collected all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds because I hate all the bonus stages. So I've never seen this stuff in game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've only seen it through like friends playing the game because I'm the same way, but I just remembered that like, oh hey, let's just add like a shitty like MySpace GIF effect on our characters.
So when I play Sonic games today, I usually get all the Chaos Emeralds by save stating at the start of a bonus stage and then from that point playing the stage correctly and not cheating. And so I usually do manage to get all the emeralds. So this is all pretty familiar to me, but I haven't chosen to play as anyone but Sonic in years.
So you've never seen the Super or Hyper versions of the other characters?
I mean, I have, but not in years. I don't have like I remember Tails with the Flicky tidbit, but
well, yeah, but like I don't know, it just annoys me that they gave them the option of having it but didn't aesthetically change anything of them other than giving them a weird white glow. I don't know, maybe that's the Dragon Ball Z fan in me.
It's definitely a nitpick, but a valid observation.
Cool.
The very epitome of a nitpick. Okay, these bonus stages. I guess we already got you guys' opinions, but I actually really like the bonus stages in these games.
Tell me about you getting blue balls.
Change my mind. Sell me on these stages because I hate them.
Yeah, tell me how to get blue balls, Dalton.
Sell you on it. No.
No.
Here's the thing, Josh, is we have a strange phenomenon here where, okay, your distaste for this special stage in particular, is it because it's overly difficult to you, or is it because it is slaughter on the eyes?
Both.
Yes.
Okay.
I hate these two.
We have a strange phenomenon, Josh, where we have something in a video game that you can't do, and I'm pretty good at.
I'm pretty bad at it too, though. So
maybe it just came from the fact that I managed to latch on to these stages and be able to do them with pretty good consistency at a young age, and realized the other people around me couldn't do it and they were supposed to be difficult. Maybe I just enjoyed knowing that. That said, it is slaughter on the eyes, though, and the feeling of, being 2 minutes into one of these levels and realizing you haven't blinked in 2 minutes and you still can't because the level has sped up and you will die if you blink. That is both a terrifying feeling and a fulfilling nostalgic one.
The number one complaint I have about these types of levels is there's just because of how visually murderous they are, there's no such thing as landmarks or basically any way to help you. Where I would get stuck so often was that I would need maybe like 20 more spheres to complete the level and have no idea where they are. And I just kind of felt like I was wandering around aimlessly because your field of vision is so small that it's so easy to just run around in circles and not know where you haven't looked yet. So if everything gets faster and faster, and I'm just like peeling around this level, circling around clumps of stuff that I've already touched like 50 times, and I'm trying to find the last 4x4 assortment of blue spheres that'll actually let me end the fucking level and get back to the actual fun part of the game for me. And it's just very frustrating for me that like the end game power up that's supposed to be the ultimate end goal of the game is locked behind an inferior game mode, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like, wasn't there yellow spheres that you like it helped you jump, or you could just jump on your own then risk like actually landing in red spheres that just fucked your whole entire game up?
I mean, the gold spheres you're talking about were just a necessary part of the level design, not something where you could make a gamble and say, do I want to use that or not? You needed to use them.
Well, yeah. There was no actual jump mechanic in there, right?
No, there was. And it was very important to get very good at it because there were points where you had to manage to jump over a red sphere.
Yeah.
And it was something that I did well at immediately. And I don't know, it didn't frustrate me. And so I enjoyed it. I mean, it certainly is a distraction from the game proper. But I guess if it's not a distraction that you're hating, then... Oh, well, for me.
You liked it?
I that's what I said.
I know, but I thought it was a joke.
No, I genuinely enjoy these and do well at them, and they are painful on the eyes, but whatever.
And I genuinely question you as a human being, but whatever.
Better or worse than Sonic 2's Emerald stages?
Worse. I actually didn't mind Sonic 2's bonus stages.
Josh?
I don't know. Is it conceited for me to say I like Sonic 2's more because I can do them better?
No.
Okay, this is an interesting observation because I'm way worse at Sonic 2's.
I know, because I crushed you in our Let's Play.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We did play those stages multiplayer in the Let's Play. But yeah, I really struggled with Sonic 2's bonus stages.
Man, I don't know. It felt right in Sonic 2's bonus stage because you weren't trying to move left and right. You were trying to go forward and get rings, just like the original game.
You lost me. Sonic 2's special stages are moving left and right.
Yes, but it's not pinpoint. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't turn left right now, you're going to lose the entire stage.
Yeah, but if you don't turn left right now, you're going to lose a clump of 20 rings and not pass the the level.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Sonic 2's stages,
Little column A, little column B, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, to me, Sonic 2's were way harder because you needed to memorize the stages to do it. And so I'd have to save state at the beginning of it and then play it 30 times until I memorized the pattern of the rings. Because if you didn't memorize it, you couldn't do it. In Sonic 3's,
how about this?
You don't need to have them memorized. You just need to be good enough at dodging obstacles to keep exploring.
Well, how about this? With Sonic 3's bonus stages, I went and watched somebody play it, and it felt like there was a pathway to it. Whereas in Sonic 2's, it felt like the path was already made for you. You just had to focus on getting the rings and avoiding spikes.
I don't know. Whatever. We're dwelling on this too much.
Maybe. But Sonic 2's
The point
bonus
is that these
stages
stages
were
are bad and then Dalton is wrong. Let's move on.
All right, more productive things. I guess we touched a little bit on music here and there during the levels, but despite the apparent involvement of Michael Jackson, it's not as good as Sonic 2's, which I really thought before playing them back to back that it was on a close level, but it's really not.
No, it's not. Honestly, Sonic 2 is the winner here.
I think 3 gets a little more experimental, and I think it gets more complex. And it kind of does more with the sounds available to it on the Genesis, but at the end of the day, they're not as memorable or groovy. Yeah, and that's what matters most.
Yeah, like I said earlier, sometimes keeping certain things simple is what gets it done. Mm-hmm. And the soundtrack kind of took a hit from that, not keeping it simple and not keeping it concise to what the Sonic games were before it.
Yeah. All right. So we're being really harsh on it in comparison to Sonic 2, but how's it hold up to 1?
It's better than 1.
It is definitely better than 1.
On every level?
Except music.
Ooh, see, I don't know. I don't think that Sonic 3's music is worse than Sonic 1's. It's not as good as Sonic 2's, but I think that overall the music is still, like, if Sonic 2 is a 10 out of 10, this soundtrack's a solid 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'll give you that.
Or maybe like a 7.5 if you average in the Carnival Zone being a negative 5 out of 10 and everything else being around an 8.
Carnival Zone is an outlier.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, Sonic 1's bonus stages beat Sonic 3's.
No, they don't, because they're basically in Sonic 3 too, as the little slot machine things that you can get into, and it's still as horrible and eye and brain melting as they are in Sonic 1. So no,
I can at least beat Sonic 1's special stages. If I really try.
To me, Sonic 1 has the hardest special stages.
Seriously?
Because the controls are bad.
Well, yeah, they are, but I don't know. Once you acclimate to them.
Say what you will about Sonic 3's Emerald stage, but its controls are precise.
Too precise for me.
No, they're definitely precise. My main complaint with that is just your inability to see what's going on or where you are within the stages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give you that too.
Yeah, all right. I'm not going to dwell on that anymore. So I guess
Sonic 2, 3, 1?
For sure. And I guess the general summary here is just that I think we are just being overly harsh on it because we're comparing it to Sonic 2.
Yeah.
We didn't really shit on Sonic 1 at all, and I think we all still agree this is an improvement on Sonic 1. And there's just still there's a lot of flashes of polish here that make this game really memorable to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Knuckles is awesome, and music is still dope, and it's whatever, but every game can't be Sonic 2.
No.
That said, I think I understand why after Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the classic Sonic series just kind of took a hiatus, because I felt that this game was already kind of stretching and not doing a very good job of innovating on the classic Sonic formula. And if they had gone on to make a Sonic 4 right after this, I have no idea what they could have done to differentiate it from other games in the franchise.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
So from this episode, do we jump right into Sonic 4 or do we stay back in Retroland?
I completely forgot that Sonic 4 was a thing. And I don't even know if I want to play it, because I don't even think they finished it. Weren't they releasing that episodically?
There's 2 episodes. I don't know if they ever intended it to be more.
Didn't they suck?
I have them. You don't have to pay for them. We can't only play good games on this show, Alex. You know that.
Yeah, which is why we're
know,
playing
but-
Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood next.
All right, you guys can look forward to that in the year 2025.
Sure.
Oh, wait, is the Sonic OVA technically part of this ranking? Because in that case, it's Sonic OVA, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, because it shitted on him on all the rest.
There were no Knuckles hats here, so
Yeah.
I guess we could have summarized the whole game that way.
Or we can just give it ratings of knuckle hats out of 10.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. Hopefully it won't take us 3 or 4 more months to get to another Sonic game. Look forward to whatever we're doing next.
Have fun.